What is happening, everybody? We are here with another playthrough of a Legacy of Kain game. This is the next one in the series. Blood Omen was the first. Soul Reaver is the second. This is the remastered we're going to play. I backed the graphic novel. And doing so, I actually have my name in the credits. We're not going to look at that though. But we are going to start off with Soul Reaver. I'm only going to offer commentary. When there's a lull, there's a lot of good dialogue, great voice acting. We're going to get to it right now.
Kain is deified. The clans tell tales of him. Few know the truth. He was mortal once, as were we all. However, his contempt for humanity drove him to create me and my brethren. I am Raziel, firstborn of his lieutenants. I stood with Kain and my brethren at the dawn of the Empire. I have served him a millennium. Over time, we became less human and more divine. Kain would enter the state of change and emerge with a new gift. Some years after the Master, our evolution would follow. Until I had the honor of surpassing my lord. For my transgression, I earned a new kind of reward. Agony. There was only one possible outcome. My eternal damnation. I, Raziel, was to suffer the fate of traitors and weaklings, to burn forever in the bowels of the Lake of the Dead. Cast him in. Tumbling, burning with white-hot fire, I plunged into the depths of the abyss. Unspeakable pain, relentless agony. Time ceased to exist. Only this torture and a deepening hatred of the hypocrisy that damned me to this hell. An eternity passed, and my torment receded, bringing me back from the precipice of madness. The descent had destroyed me, and yet I lived.
Raziel, you are worthy. I know you, Raziel. You are worthy.
What madness is this? What pitiful form is this that I have come to inhabit? Death would be a release next to this travesty.
You did not survive the abyss, Raziel. I have only spared you from total dissolution.
I would choose oblivion over this existence.
The choice is not yours.
I am destroyed.
You are reborn. The birth of one of Kain's abominations traps the essence of life. It is this soul that animates the corpse you lived in. And that, Raziel, is the demise of Nosgoth. There is no balance. The souls of the dead remain trapped. I cannot spin them in the wheel of fate. They cannot complete their destinies. Redeem yourself. Or if you prefer, avenge yourself. Settle your dispute with Cain. Destroy him and your brethren. Free their souls and let the wheel of fate churn again. Use your hatred to reave their souls. I can make it possible. Become my soul reaver. My angel of death.
And the first thing is that I notice is it's great that it has the captions there. And if you look at Raziel, you can even see the striations and the muscles, a lot more detail. The cool thing is, in this game too, you can actually resort back to the old graphics. But I'm going to keep it at the new graphics. You could play this at the time, PC or PS1. I first played it for the PS1. Now, I was a huge fan of Blood Omen. When Soul Reaver came out, I was super excited, but it was different.
These gates twist space, laying a path across great spans.
In later years, I would find out the reason why it was different is because Silicon Knights lost the rights to the franchise. Crystal Dynamics actually ended up with it. Amy Hennig actually worked on Blood Omen, and she was really responsible for this game. I mean, this one. Hold on a second.
You are weak. You must feed.
The old hunger has left me. I have no desire for blood.
You are changed. Your bloodthirst is replaced by a deeper need. You have become a devourer of souls. To sustain your strength, you must hunt the lost spirits of the underworld and consume the souls of your enemies.
So I will feed. You can see my meter on the lower right here. Increases, but this game was hailed for what it was. Good thing is I mean, they kept the voice actors, and it leads you through you need to do.
Your wings, though ruined, are not without purpose. Take hold of them as you leap, and they will carry you across this chasm.
Thing I will admit I was not a fan of. It was a departure. I mean, it is a totally different game than Blood Omen. But because of the story and everything like that, it did intrigue me.
What scabrous wretches are these?
Slua, the scavengers of the underworld. Their feral hunger has claimed countless souls, spirits who now shall never find their rest.
Oops. Now there are different buttons here. Do different things. up here and look around by pushing the trigger. And it just builds on things that you learned, which is nice.
These portals are your conduit between the spectral and material realms. With their aid, you may gather matter and will yourself to become manifest in the physical world. This is taxing, however. Your strength must first be fully restored. You require no conduit to return to this plane. You may abandon your physical body at any time.
So we're in the spectral plane. Now we're in the material plane.
Sustain your strength to prolong your manifestation in the physical world. If you fail to feed or absorb too many wounds, this fragile matter will dissolve. You are young yet, Raziel. You still retain many of your vampiric weaknesses. Immersion in water, while not fatal, will dissolve your physical body, forcing your return to the spirit world. Be aware that in the spectral realm, water has neither heft nor lift. It stands as thin as air.
So basically, like, water is dangerous, but even if I do fall in there, I'm not totally dead. I'll just return to the spectral plane.
What are these creatures?
Do you not recognize them? They are the children of your brother, Duma.
That's impossible. These foul, scuttling beasts could not be kin of our high blood?
Do you suppose that time stood still for you, Raziel? Much has changed since you passed from the world of men.
I knew my opponent's weaknesses, having suffered them myself. Physical wounds are fleeting. Vampire's immortal flesh begins to close as soon as it is cleaved. Vampires need only fear those wounds that impale or inflame. Water scorches like acid, and fledglings are devastated by sunlight's touch. I would have to modify my tactics to suit my foes.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you there is kind of a secret here.
Unfettered from the flesh, a creature's soul fades swiftly into the spectral realm. Draw it in quickly, Raziel, or you will be compelled to follow.
So we'll be able to get that secret, not right yet, but later on. Try to keep our health as much as we can. So let's see. So we look up. That's where we need to go. Right there. And then all I have to do now is move this block.
Your physical prowess surpasses what you knew in life. Even massive obstacles can be moved effortlessly.
Just remembering the right trigger is what helps you look around. Ooh, definitely more graphic there with the dead body. I would love to see a remake of Blood Omen. I really would. And I'd love to see Dennis Diag actually be a part of it. That would be even better.
a sanctuary of the clans, reduced to ruin. Beyond these walls lay the pillars of Nosgoth, the seat of Kain's empire. How humble it now appeared, collapsing into the dust of its former magnificence. And yet, I had only just emerged. In the instant between my execution and resurrection, centuries had apparently passed.
This world is wrecked with cataclysms. The earth strains to shrug off the pestilence of Kain's parasitic empire. The fate of this world was preordained in an instant by a solitary man. Unwilling to martyr himself to restore Nosgoth's balance, Kain condemned the world to the decay you see. In that moment, the unraveling began. Now it is nearly played out. Nosgoth teeters on the brink of collapse. Its fragile balance cannot hold.
Alright, so the cool thing is these things here on the building actually pretty cool. You can toss those like a javelin. What I'm going to do is go into this door here. This is going to allow me to transport. And that's all I'm doing is activating these devices here and trying to remember what they look like. That tells us how we can get to certain locations. Now as I come out of here, as I go to the left, I do have to be careful because there's going to be an enemy here.
This, at least, had remained constant. The endlessly swirling vortex of the abyss. My tomb and the wound of my rebirth. Though much of Nosgoth's landscape had changed, these cliffs gave me my bearings. My clan territory was to the west. I was anxious to see how my descendants had fared during the centuries of my absence.
Good thing is it directs you to the area you need to go to, so easy enough. I do want to take his soul before I pick my weapon back, because if I just take the weapon back, he's actually going to revive, so I want to do that. And so there is a secret here. Can't get it right now, but I'm just going to set myself up. So I'll be able to get it when I have the means.
World like excrement from a boot. I knew the hand that wrought this deed.
So here's another transport site. It just makes for fast travel, so definitely worth taking the time to activating these areas. Oh, come on. You try to keep a good amount of health, so really only fight when you need to.
No! Please! I didn't recognize these flayed racks of flesh. Their scent was vampiric. They gnawed upon their victim's carcass like dogs. This charnel house bore the unmistakable marks of Melchiah's clan. To what depths had our dynasty plummeted if these ghouls were the descendants of my high-born brother? Were they so debased as to recruit fledglings from the desiccated corpses here interred?
There we are, we need to go that way.
My brother Melchiah was made last, and therefore received the poorest portion of Cain's gift. Although immortal, his soul could not sustain the flesh, which retained much of its previous human frailty. This weakness, it seemed, was passed on to his offspring. Their fragile skins barely contained the underlying decay.
You can get him to walk in. No, he doesn't want to walk in. If he goes into the sunlight, he'll get fried. So there we are. I'm actually going to call that good for this part of the playthrough, because in the next one we will actually meet Malkaya. But till then, goodbye.